Hey, what's up? So I wanted to do a video. I've been meaning to do a video like this, and I wanted to get it professionally done. And the reason being is because this could potentially be one of the most important videos that you hear for 2018 and into the future as it pertains to your health. And the reason being is because this one thing is having major impact on you, your friends, your pets, everybody in your life, no matter where you go. And it's a catalyst for some of the most dangerous and deadly health crises and issues that we're dealing with today. And so what am I talking about? Well, before I even get into what I'm talking about, I want you to think about this for a second, real quick. If you were at your work, at your home, in your car, and you had people all around you and they were all smoking, and the smoke and the windows were up, smoke was just billowing around you, and you were inhaling it consistently, what would you say to them? How would you feel about that? Would you be happy about it? Would you put up a sign that says smoke-free zone? And would you tell them to not smoke near you? Well, guess what? Our society has done that. And if you noticed, we took cigarette smoke out of all public areas because we know the effects of it. Well, what I'm going to tell you right now is that you're still being bombarded with carcinogens consistently that could possibly be worse than secondhand smoke. And so I'm talking about electronic radiation, so EMF, right? And so this is radiation coming from your cell phone, from the Wi-Fi, from your car. At some point, if I stop in my car, I will show you the radiation level that I'm getting blasted by right now just by driving my car. This has been studied independently. It's been studied by governments, and this is proven that above 3 milligauss, if you're getting hit by above 3 milligauss, it is severely detrimental to your health. Right? There are holistic doctors that will not work with their patients unless they reduce their electronic magnetic frequency exposure, because they know they cannot get results with the diseases if they don't reduce it. And so, for example, autistic kids, you cannot help autism too much if you're being exposed to electronic magnetic frequencies, EMF. Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, all of these neurological issues are being impacted by electronic magnetic frequencies, and guess what? It's getting worse and worse and worse. Every time they upgrade to 4G or whatever, they were thinking about doing 5G, and I think it got turned down because it would be extremely detrimental to our body. Now, all the towers that you see around here, they're permitting electro frequencies, and what I want people to understand and think about is that every single thing on this earth is a vibration and a frequency. So the the words that I'm speaking carry with it a vibration. The thoughts that I'm thinking carry with it a vibration. The radio station carries with it a vibration. Every single frequency is either beneficial or detrimental to your health. There's some that are neutral, right? There's even thoughts that are what are considered neutral thinking. And so, essentially, Wi-Fi is not in that frequency. It's not beneficial to your body. It's not beneficial to your brain. So it's destructive to your cells. On a cellular level, it's destructive. It excretes toxins into your body, which are very unhealthy. So, sorry, we got a dead animal on the road here, and the cops walking in the middle of the street to carry it out of the way. So someone just hit a deer, actually. All right, so So yeah, talking about frequency, everything's a frequency, and Wi-Fi is low-grade radiation. If you're away from it, if you're next to it, it's high-level radiation. And so I'm going to get into the solutions, but I really want you to understand the full impact of this, because most people can't grasp in their mind what is happening. It was actually stated, I think, President Putin, what I heard is that there was a translation that of a speech that he gave to the people of Russia, and basically the translation was something to the fact that we don't need to go to war with Russia or with America, because the way that they're using electricity, everybody's going to be like an mental institution anyways. Everybody's going to just, we're killing ourselves through what we're doing. So if you live near high power lines, if you live near any power lines, you need to check the radiation level that you're getting hit with, because it's been studied that if you live within 320 feet of those high power lines, the chances of leukemia, cancer, etc. exponentially increases, right? And there's been mixed reviews about it in terms of what it is. So like, I'm at a stop sign now. Right here, I've got my phone attached to something, so I'm not holding it. But I want to just show everybody that I'm now checking the magnetic frequency and above 3 milligauss. So I'm just holding it right there. Let's see if you can see that. Right now it's way above. It's at 20. And if I put it up here, so it's at 20 right at the phone. It's at 20 milligauss. So that's extremely unhealthy. And I'm just getting blasted at by the radiation. So I want people to think of what's actually happening here. So what happens when I'm sitting next to this? Instantly my nervous system gets tensed up. And if I sit here and I drive for a while, I'm going to have all these toxins excreting into my body, and they're excitotoxins. I'm going to be more and more tensed up. I'm going to get more and more angry. I'm going to get more and more irritated. So what does that do for drivers? Well, why do people go crazy with road rage? Well, this could be one answer for you. If you're getting blasted by radiation and you're driving, and you're already in a fight or flight mode because of the radiation, then when something happens out on the road, you're going to be even more in fight or flight. You're already in fight or flight. You're going to go into a hyperdrive where you're going to think people are now almost threatening to kill you with the way they're driving, and it can cause you to spin out of control a lot faster than if you didn't have electromagnetic frequencies blasting you right here, right now. So, you know, this is something that I've known about for a long time. I've taken protective measures for about 5 years now, knowing this. I didn't recently test my car because I didn't even think about it. And I thought, well, let me test the car because I don't feel great when I go on road trips. And what I found out is at the end of road trips, I would feel stressed out. I would actually be unwell for a while. And if you notice right now, this is something I'll get into. I actually put this up. This blocks the electromagnetic frequency because it affects your thyroid. It affects every cell in your body. And so, so to get into the solution, I can go on and on and on about the studies that have been done, independent studies, government studies, that this is not good for you and is detrimental to your every part of your being. It's part of why cancer is rising. It's connected with autism as well. It is connected with Alzheimer's, dementia, etc., on and on and on and on. And so, if you can take protective measures now, and again, I'm telling you through my experience and also what I've studied. So, for example, I've known a few people now that knew nothing about Wi-Fi radiation, and they had their kids, their little babies, sleeping right next to the Wi-Fi, and the kid would not get a good night's sleep. As soon as they shut off their Wi-Fi, then all of a sudden, the baby gets a good night's sleep. Now, if you can only imagine the impact that that's having on a child. So it's scrambling their brain, they're not getting into a deep REM sleep, so therefore they're not recovering and repairing from the day. They get sick a lot faster, their immune system is lower. They also are damaging the cells, and cancer cells can proliferate So we're talking about, like, we don't even know what we're doing right now with the electronic magnetic frequencies. Like, this could be the end of the human race because it's damaging our DNA. It's causing genes to be expressed in ways that we don't want it, right? So everybody has the ability to express the good genes or the bad genes. The more toxins you're taking in, the more parasites you have, the bad genes are going to be expressed, which causes disease. And when we talk about disease, really it's just what's being expressed because of trauma, toxins, parasites, radiation exposure, lack of good food, eating healthy foods, whole foods, and exercise. And that's really it. Pretty much all diseases will be solved from that. Now, you'll be told differently if you go to the doctor, but that's it. Right? They don't address parasites, they don't address toxins, they don't address electromagnetic frequency. They address, what's your symptom? Here's a pill. So this is the truth. This is what you're getting, the truth. So I'm trying to convey in this video the impact that Wi-Fi and radiation is having on your life. If you live near power lines, move. If you can't move, then take protective measures to block out the radiation that's coming into your house. And you can do that by going to a place called lessemf.com. If you're pregnant, you wear a wrap around your belly that blocks the EMF, because in the womb, the electromagnetic frequencies is actually magnified almost 20 times. This is what Dr. Klinghardt has learned through his research. In Beijing, apparently the cops walk around to make sure that pregnant women have their protective. This is how important it is, because China knows the impact that this is having. So they're trying to protect their children. Are we trying to protect our children here in the U.S.? Probably not, because we keep poisoning and toxifying, and we don't talk about the real things in the news and in the media. You don't see that in other countries. So China and Russia are talking about electromagnetic frequencies. They're taking the steps necessary to protect their citizens. So ways to prevent it. You can go to lessemf.com. You can buy paint in your house that blocks the EMF. You can buy clothing that blocks EMF. You can buy hats that block EMF. But really, it's about removing it. Now, when I tell people to do these certain things, they'll have the best night's sleep ever. And that's shutting the circuit breakers down in their whole entire house. And the reason being is even the electromagnetic frequency from the outlets, if your head is near that, you will be getting hit with low-grade EMF, and it'll affect your sleep patterns. Right? So that's one thing that can give you a deeper sleep, better sleep, and cause you to recover and feel better and heal faster. If you're being exposed to Wi-Fi, you won't heal, you won't get better sleep. So that's another thing. So limiting your exposure. You can get blankets too that you can sleep with Wi-Fi. They're a little bit expensive, but anything that reduces your exposure to Wi-Fi will help you. So again, I'm going to recap. Your Wi-Fi station, keep it far away from you or cover it in a Faraday cage, something like this. This can reduce the electromagnetic frequency up to 90%, and at the same time, you'll still get the signal, so you'll be able to use your iPad. Right now, when we talk about iPads, iPhones, your kids should be limited in exposure to this, because it almost becomes an addiction, and in fact it does become an addiction. You get addicted to the frequency, and if you feel like you have less energy, you feel like you have less brain power, you've been dumbed down, you are being dumbed down, and you're being dumbed down through the frequency that's hitting your body and your brain. So this video is a lot longer than I intended, but you can also get this machine right here. It's called the Tri-Field Meter. Right? It's about $140, I think. And then you can test and see where in your house Wi-Fi is super high. So it has the meter, shows you up to 3 milligauss. Anything above that is really bad for you. Like I'm sitting here right now, back here, it looks about 2.5, 3 milligauss. So I'm getting blasted with radiation. Up front, if I lean forward and I'm close to this, it's like 8 to 10. And so I'm really getting blasted with radiation. So right now I'm trying to protect my thyroid, and as I drive the Hilton Head. And but if I had it all over my body, this protective stuff, the better off it would be. So yeah, any questions or comments on this? This is stuff that we really need to expose, and it needs to be out in the open, and people need to understand what the impact is and why they're feeling like crap. And the truth needs to be known that you are getting radiated consistently. And if you live near any one of those towers, it's recommended that you move. And they really don't want people knowing this, because imagine the impact this would have on the real estate market, etc. So comments, questions, go ahead and leave below. I hope you found this helpful. This is stuff that really is not a joke, and people need to take it seriously, just like as when people were smoking and everybody said, and remember, keep in mind, we had doctors promoting cigarettes. They were actually the advertisers for cigarettes back in the 1950s, maybe even into the 1960s, telling us that smoking was good for you. So that is our culture, that is our pattern. Until serious detrimental effects are becoming known out to everybody, then they will start to do the science, or reveal the science, let's say. Because if you remember, they did what's called tobacco science. It's a term used today to talk about science that's BS, science that is not real, and that just manipulates the numbers to make something look good. For example, vaccines. For example, even like when you talk about, the pharmaceutical industry, certain medications, it's all manipulated, because all of the medication is poison. It doesn't actually help you. It doesn't solve the root cause of the problem. It's just preventing you from feeling the symptoms, which is not helping it. It's a design for. It's not designed for healing. So I hope you found this helpful. Leave comments, questions. Have a good day.